Hello, little dreamers, and welcome to Magic Tales for Kids. Are you ready for a story about a very special and very busy little mouse? Snuggle up tight, get cozy, and let's begin our adventure. One bright and sunny afternoon, a friendly little boy was sitting on his porch, enjoying a big, delicious chocolate chip cookie. Suddenly, he heard a tiny little voice. "Excuse me," it squeaked. He looked down and saw the cutest little mouse you've ever seen, with big ears and a twitchy nose. The mouse said very politely, "If you give me a cookie," the boy, being very kind, broke off a piece of his cookie and handed it to the mouse. The mouse nibbled it happily, his whiskers wiggling with delight. Crumbs flew everywhere. Delicious. Chirped. Then he looked up at the boy with his big, round eyes and said, "If you give me a cookie, I'm going to need a glass of milk to go with it." Well, that seemed fair enough. So the boy went inside and poured a small glass of milk, just the right size for a mouse. He brought it out, and the mouse took a big gulp. "Ah, perfect," he said, but then he looked at the glass and tilted his head. "You know," he said, "I think I'll need a straw to drink this properly." The boy chuckled and found a tiny straw for him. After finishing the milk, the mouse wiped his mouth with the back of his paw. "Oh dear," he said, looking at his paw. "Now I'll need a napkin." So the boy ran and got him a napkin. The mouse dabbed at his whiskers. Tense, "I'd better look in a mirror," he announced, "to make sure I don't have a milk mustache." The boy led him to a small mirror in the hallway. The mouse peered at his reflection, turning his head this way and that. As he looked, he noticed a tiny hair was out of place. "Oh my," he gasped. "My whiskers look a bit scruffy. Do you have a pair of nail scissors?" The boy found a small pair of scissors for him. The mouse carefully trimmed his whiskers, which made a little pile of tiny hairs on the floor. "Goodness me, what a mess," he exclaimed, looking at the hair clippings. "I'll need a little broom to sweep this up." The boy found a toy broom and dustpan, and the mouse busily swept the floor. After sweeping, he looked at all the dust he'd collected. He had a brilliant idea. He wanted to make a picture with the dust and some glitter, but first, he needed some paper and tape to start his grand project, and maybe some crayons to add a splash of color. Before the boy knew it, the whole house was a whirlwind of creative fun. The mouse was taping paper to the walls, drawing pictures, and making little sculptures out of anything he could find. There were cookie crumbs on the couch, crayon drawings on the floor, and glitter sparkling everywhere. The boy couldn't help but laugh. He had never had so much fun. They built a fort out of pillows, read a storybook, and even put on a little play with sock puppets. The whole house was a happy mess of laughter and imagination. After all that excitement, the little mouse let out a huge yawn. He stretched his tiny arms and rubbed his sleepy eyes. "I think," he said softly, "that I'm feeling a little bit sleepy. I might need a nap." The boy nodded and made him a cozy little bed in a shoebox with a soft cotton ball for a pillow. The mouse snuggled in, but just as he was about to close his eyes, he peeked one eye open. "And you know," he whispered, "to help me fall asleep, I might need another cookie." The boy giggled. This mouse was certainly one of a kind. He went to the kitchen and brought back another warm, gooey cookie. He handed it to the mouse and said with a smile, "If I give you a cookie." The mouse grinned, his whiskers twitching again. He took a tiny bite and said, "I'm probably going to ask for a glass of milk." And they both burst out laughing, ready for another fun adventure to begin all over again. The end. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful tale. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. If you loved our story, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up and subscribe to Magic Tales for Kids for more amazing adventures. Sweet dreams, and we'll see you next time.